Yo, it's me, CSCOTT, baby. Hold on a minute. Come on. But. Okay. I'm here with my review for Rocky 3, starring Sylvester Stallone, Mr. T, Carl Weathers, and it's directed by Sylvester Stallone, who apparently also directed Rocky 2. Did not know that. And hey, I'm going to try what you used to do back there. I forgot to put him back up on a wrestling show, whatever. Are you enjoying your time up there? Oh, that's nice. Okay, that's good. Are you ready to talk about Rocky 3? Oh, you are? Okay. You know Hulk Hogan is in that. You know Hulk Hogan, right? Do you like Hulk Hogan? No! You like Hulk Hogan. That's what I thought. You guys were friends, right? Until Bobby Van Heenan turned you into a jerk, right? I'm just saying. That's what I thought. Okay, to the review now. You know, because of this joke, I'm probably going to get a foot shoved up my ass all the way from Florida. You do realize this, right? Well, as long as you realize it. Okay. So anyway, Rocky 3. Alright, so after the first two were, dramas, this one kind of, well, being a drama, kind of starts the two-film streak of being sort of like drama action films, if you think about it. Because, well, Rocky 4 is all right, an action film with what it's put out there. But, so this, every film, at least the first 5 films, start off with the previous film, right? You start off with what happens. So we see Rocky beat Apollo, win the world title, and now we see him fighting his title in boxing matches to the tune of "I am the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rival." And we see that he's also being watched by Clubber Pitiful Lang, played by Mr. T. Mr. T knew Hulk Hogan too, didn't he? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, and Mr. T, or Clubber Lang, has been watching Hulk Hogan, Rocky. See what happens when I'm trying to make a joke? He's been watching Rocky in these fights. Now, these fights aren't necessarily big fights, because Mickey has been setting him up to to fight chumps, basically. They're not like real big fighters. They're not championship caliber. They're just chumps for Rocky to fight so he can keep retaining his championship and not feel like he's a loser. Because Mickey thinks once he gets in the ring with one of the big guys, he's going to lose. Even though he was in 2 great fights against Apollo Creed. Almost said Apollo Crews. Apollo Creed. Almost won once. Actually won the second time. So, why he didn't do that, I don't know. Stallone directed it. It's his idea. Whatever. Let me get... So, eventually at a press conference... Well, before this, we get a boxer versus wrestling fight with Rocky facing off against Thunderlips, baby. And that's played by Hulk Hogan, who's wearing this ridiculous looking hat and this cape. And, he's a big wrestler guy. This is before Hulk Hogan before Hulkamania started running wild. This is 1982, and this is before Hulkamania really started running wild. Because he didn't win the WWF title until 1984. So this is before he really got big. So, not to mention that Vince McMahon wanted him to be Irish and dye his hair red. But Hogan's like, no, I'm losing my hair. I'm not going to. It's a little tidbit I was reading while I was looking up. But anyway, Uh, because I was looking up to see if this was before he even started with Vince, but apparently, he was all over the place at this point in New Japan, and shortly after this he came back to WWF. So I don't know, he's all over the place. I want to get my facts straight because I don't want to foot my ass all the way from Florida for saying wrong things about Hulk Hogan. Anyway, do you want to see that? Of course you do. You're the bad guy. No, that's Razor Ramon. But you know what I mean. Stop. Andre? Okay. So anyway, they do this boxer versus wrestling match. I mean, either of them actually win. I mean, it appears that Rocky wins, but I don't know. This kind of, like, Hogan literally hurls Rocky out of the freaking ring. The fact that Paulie has to get in and try to take him down. Of course, Paulie doesn't get anywhere with that. But yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. And so finally we get this press conference thing with Rocky, up there talking and stuff. He gets the statue, which is seen, in most of the films and from here on in. And Clubber Lang calls him out. And Rocky has no idea who this guy is because Mickey has been scouting Clubber Lang, but Rocky has no idea who he is because Mickey hasn't said anything to him about it. Speaking of Paulie, though, go back a little bit. Yeah, Paulie is sort of being this drunk at the beginning of the film. He even breaks an actual Rocky pinball game. It was an actual Rocky pinball game. They only made like 15,000 or 1,500 of them. I'm not sure which, but there's 15s in the word, in the number there, and that's an actual pinball game. So you see that scene. He's actually breaking an actual pinball game with a bottle of hooch. I'm just saying. And then he gets into it with Rocky. When he gets arrested because of this, Rocky bails him out. He gets into it, and they're going off like, you guys be success, and what am I be? Only thing that people tell me is, hey, how's Rocky? I said Rocky, I said hi. And then he asks for a job. So he gets a job. So Rocky is all set to fight Lang, and no one wants him to do it. Mickey doesn't want him to do it. Of course, Adrian, who says no to everything at the beginning of the movie, doesn't want him to do it. There's a formula to these Rocky movies, as it seems, starting with the second film. Rocky always wants to fight. Adrian always says no. Something dramatic happens that sort of halts him from fighting or affects him in some way. Then he's brought back into the fight, and he wins. The first film didn't follow that. The second film does. Where you get, he wants to fight Apollo. Again. Adrian says no. Then she has complications, thanks to Paulie yelling at her. And she gives birth 1 month premature. Rocky decides he doesn't want to fight. And she says win. And he goes to fight and he wins. And this one is very much a little bit more complicated than that, but it follows that same thing. Rocky wants to fight Clubber Lang. Adrian says no. Mickey says no. He still does. He gets his ass kicked. Mickey dies. Then he gets trained by Apollo to fight again. And of course, Adrian still doesn't want him to fight, but stands by his side eventually. I think at this point, actually, she does want him to fight. She stands by his side with Apollo and everything. And then he wins. And the fourth one, we got another one. I'll discuss that in the next one. But the fourth one has the same kind of thing. They kind of follow that until Rocky V, which changed up things. And people went, oh, no, that sucks. Just as a spoiler, I don't hate Rocky V. I acknowledge it's the worst of the franchise. But that's coming from a Rocky franchise, where the only bad Rocky movie is considered to be Rocky V. All the other ones have great praise, even the two Creed ones. But people say Rocky V is the worst. It is. But it's not shit like people say it is. There's a meaning behind it. And we'll get to that one as well, but I'm just saying. So, anyway, we get a fight between him and Creed. And Lang pushes Mickey, which causes him to have problems. And I caught this at the end of the second film, because they show it at the beginning of this one too. When Rocky wins, Mickey is like this, showing that there is going to be something wrong with him. So it wasn't just random that he ends up dying. They showed that there was something going on with him. He even got the hearing thing in that one as well. So he ends up dying of a heart attack or something. And that affects Rocky to the point where he can't, train anymore. And Apollo Creed has to come in and help him. And Apollo does help him. But he teaches him to fight like it, how they say it, a colored boxer. African American, black, whatever. And Paulie, who for some reason all of a sudden is racist, even though he's not shown to be racist in any of the previous ones, or going forward, doesn't like the fact that they're in an African American neighborhood. That's a little But he teaches them, and here's the thing. The training montage in this movie is my favorite training montage that uses the Rocky theme song. It's not my favorite overall in the franchise, it's my favorite that has the Rocky theme song in it. Ba-ma-ba, ba-ma-ba. It's my favorite one that uses that song. Because you got Apollo training him, doing the dance move things in the ring, swim, which I wouldn't be able to swim like that, swimming, and he's teaching him how they're running on the beach, and you see that he's struggling with it at first. But eventually, throughout the montage, he gets it. Where other montages are just like, or pull in something in the case of Rocky 4. This one actually shows him struggling before he finally gets it. And he learns the little dance move things. He swims really good and then pulls Paulie into the pool. And then he almost said into the fridge. Into the pool. And then he beats Apollo while running. It shows that Then we get to the fight, and yes, Rocky wins. The Clubber Lang fight's not my favorite fight. I prefer the second Apollo fight, to be honest, as my favorite fight of the franchise. To be honest. It's right up there with... I gotta say, I don't know, I have to watch Creed again. I think the first Creed fight is pretty good. But his second fight against Apollo was probably my favorite. Just the way, because the first one has the whole, oh, you got me. But then the second one has more stakes in it. This one, it's good. It's great. It's good, not great, I should say. And yeah, Rocky wins. He wins the title fight because, honestly, if he had lost, what would be the point of this film? You know what I mean? To go through all that training with Apollo and lose. And then we get the post-credit or post-fight scene where you see Rocky and Apollo are going to have one last fight. A little, what do you call it? Exhibition fight or whatever. Little training fight, little sparring fight. And which we don't get the answer to who won this fight until Creed came out in 2015. 2015. Carry one. So let's see. This came out in 1982. 27 years later, right in that, because 82, 92, 2002, 2012, 37 years later. No, hold on. 82 to 92, 92 to 2002, 2002 to 2012. Yeah, 30, not 37. 33. That makes more sense. 33 years. How do I got 7? 33 years. I was thinking of 5 for some reason. The 5 in 2015. But no. 33 years later, we find out. It wasn't a long wait for me because I first watched the Rocky movies back in 2009. really, I mean, they showed them on TV all the time when I was younger, but I really started, I was renting them from Hollywood Video and watching them and stuff, avoiding Rocky 5 until I finally watched it, and I thought, yeah, it's not the best, but it's probably the worst, but it's not bad. And we'll get to that when Rocky 5 is probably tomorrow. But, like, I'm just saying, we have to wait 30 years to figure out who won that fight. Something that wasn't probably ever going to be answered if we never got Creed, you know what I mean? Do we need it answered? Probably not, but we'll get to that when I get to Creed. But, yeah, this movie's great. For the longest time, it was my favorite. It's Hulk Hogan. I'm a wrestling fan and all that. And then I got to watching Rocky 5 more. I'm like, or Rocky 4 more. I'm not saying Rocky 5 is my favorite. I told you all it's the worst, but I'm saying Rocky 4 more. 4 more. Once I got to watching Rocky 4, I realized that's my favorite. We'll get to that one next. But, yeah, so Rocky 3 is going to get an 8 out of 10 for me. Absolutely 8 out of 10. Pretty good movie. Like I said, I don't really care about the boxing fight between them. We all know Rocky's going to win anyway. But, yeah, it's pretty good. So, like, share, subscribe more, and I'll see you in the next one.